About 78% of the air we breathe is nitrogen gas, or N2. To make nitrogen useful for agriculture, we have to grab that atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into forms plants can use, such as ammonium and nitrate. Today, most nitrogen fertilizer is produced using the Haber-Bosch process, which combines nitrogen from the atmosphere with hydrogen under high temperature and pressure. That process requires a significant amount of energy, so although nitrogen is essentially unlimited in the atmosphere, turning it into a plant-available fertilizer comes with an energy cost. So knowing that, every head of lettuce, every almond, every tomato, or any crop for that matter, owes much of its growth to nitrogen. So why do crops need nitrogen? Essentially, nitrogen is the backbone of amino acids, which build proteins such as chlorophyll that gleans the sun's energy, enzymes which speed thousands of biological reactions daily, DNA, RNA, which unravels the genetic template of the plant, structural proteins that assemble its vascular architecture, defense compounds that fight off diseases like downy mildew or botrytis, and finally storage proteins that help distribute the crop's progeny through seeds, grains, nuts, and proteins we or animals eventually consume. Without nitrogen, plants simply cannot manufacture the machinery they need to grow. Crop roots absorb nitrogen, usually in the form of nitrate, whereby that ion is reduced to ammonium, of which is formed into amino acids, of which build all the proteins mentioned earlier. Crops take up nitrogen throughout the season, but after harvest, only a portion of that nitrogen is removed from the field. The size of that portion depends on the crop. For nitrogen uptake, let's look at two entirely different California crops, lettuce versus almonds. The window for nitrogen uptake of lettuce is small, perhaps 6 to 8 weeks, and the nitrogen uptake is practically exponential. Almonds, however, have a longer uptake season and also a more linear uptake pattern. Their nitrogen removal patterns are also vastly different. For lettuce, since we're harvesting the above ground portions for consumption, 85% of the nitrogen is removed at harvest. But for almonds, since we're only harvesting the nuts on a tree, the nitrogen removal rate is about 25%. Growers have to calculate these variables as well as the fate of the actual nitrogen molecule, either as fertilizer or what's naturally in the soil or water. This graphic depicts what happens when applying a typical 200-pound nitrogen per acre rate to a lettuce crop. 70 to 85% of nitrogen is indeed taken up by the plant, but 5 to 15% can be leached as nitrate, 5% can be lost through denitrification, and another 5% can be lost through ammonia volatilization. The grower also has to keep in mind that there is a residual fraction of nitrogen from a previous crop up to 5 to 15%, and another 5 to 10% is immobilized by organic matter. Finally, let's not forget about nitrogen that could be in irrigation water. Back on episode 3, it was mentioned that for every parts per million of nitrate nitrogen in irrigation water, multiplying that value by 2.72 would equate to so many pounds of N per acre foot of water. Monitoring water and soil nitrate, understanding the timing of nitrogen applications are key to good nitrogen management. I mentioned in my previous video, or episode 8, California Ag Order 4.0. While I don't assume to be a policy wonk, I will say that Ag Order 4.0 was created to protect groundwater and nearby rivers from nitrate pollution caused by farming. Since every crop, from fast-growing lettuce to long-season almonds, takes up nitrogen at different times and in different amounts, growers are financially driven and environmentally encouraged to apply nitrogen when the crop can use it most efficiently. Ag Order 4.0 simply urges growers to do a better job matching nitrogen applications with crop demand so more nitrogen ends up in the crop and less is lost to the environment. The best nitrogen program isn't the one that applies the most fertilizer. It's the one that delivers nitrogen when the crop needs it and minimizes every opportunity for that nitrogen to be lost.